Hey kiddos, this is going to be a lesson about how to write reflections. And since we've been reading Esperanza Rising, we're going to focus on how to write a reflection about what we read so far. So here's actually what the title and cover of the book look like, since we actually haven't seen it, except for the few of you that actually do have the real book at home, which is really cool too. But I've been reading it on my Kindle, so I haven't been able to see this picture either. So let's take a look at the parts of the story that have made me wonder things or they made me feel or think a certain way. So I'm focusing on some of the things that I mentioned while we were doing the read aloud last time. One was Esperanza said that she couldn't even imagine living without her servants, and she was talking about Hortensia and Alfonso and Miguel. And it was interesting just that she definitely used the word servants and she didn't feel bad about it or anything. And part of the wonders make me go there. Another thing that happened is that Miguel wrote to Isabel and told her that Esperanza gets whatever she wants and any of the fancy dresses and things like that. And then another one is that when Esperanza met Marta for the first time and they were in the truck, Marta said something to Esperanza about having a silver spoon in her mouth. And we had talked about as a class that talking about a silver spoon in your mouth meant more so that you live a life that you get whatever you want, you don't struggle for anything, and that you might be a little bit spoiled in that you feel that you can always get anything that you want without anything stopping you, without any challenges, which might be a little bit different for some other people. So, on this, I want you to note that I picked at least three things that happened in the story to start putting together my reflection. Because if I'm thinking a certain way, there's usually probably a few things that have happened that kind of added up together to go there. So now let's take a look at the paragraph that I've written that right now is all different kinds of colors, but you'll see why. And we're going to say how to put these things together. And this is what the reflection paragraph would look like. So the first thing is that we're going to always start with writing the name of what you're writing your reflection about. So for this one to be the fact that I named the book Esperanza Rising and I added the author Pam Munoz Ryan, because if someone else were to read this and maybe just from reading my reflection, they'd want to also then read the book, then they would know how to find it. The next thing that I added was adding the name of the main character, Esperanza herself. However, if I was actually writing something that was focusing on a different character, I would list that person and also tell that maybe they were supporting character, or whatever their role in the story was. Then the next part that I'm going to write about is going to be actually writing the feeling or thoughts that were created within me after doing this reading. So in this case, it was the feeling of being upset and feeling frustrated. Then on the next part, I'm going to be writing the main idea that I have come up with myself. And so in this one, it was that Esperanza was judgy and that she was treating other people, basically the other servants, the way she saw them, the people that didn't have as much money as her, she was treating them poorly. She was judging them unfairly. The next part is I'm going to be giving examples of what happened in the story that influenced my wonders and thoughts. So the ones here in blue are the same three that I picked out on the previous screen. So these are the ones that are kind of backing up or supporting what it is that made me think the things that I did. And then in the purple, oh, well, these are the things that I thought based on those three examples of parts of the story that were in blue. So these are the different parts of it, but now let's go ahead and take a look through the actual reflection completed. In the book Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz Ryan, the main character, Esperanza, made me feel upset and frustrated about how she judged and treated others who may not have had as much money as her family had when she was in Mexico. For example, she said that she couldn't live without her servants. She seemed to talk about them with affection, but thought of them as less than herself. Even Miguel wrote to his cousin, Isabel, to tell her how Esperanza was able to have anything that she wanted, which is how Miguel felt. Which is how Miguel and Isabel lived. But it didn't seem that Esperanza thought about fairness for other people. I don't think she even understood her own thoughts or feelings. When Marta told Esperanza about the silver spoon, Esperanza was offended. I wonder if it was because she felt that Marta, who she viewed as less than, was judging her unfairly, or if it was because this was the first time that someone was directly pointing out to Esperanza how spoiled she was. So that is my complete reflection for now. As we read more, I'll have more things to think about, to write about, to talk about. And my reflection could be this long. It could be a little shorter. It could be way longer. So it's just depending on how you're feeling about things as you're reading them. So if you're thinking, I'm not really sure how to start my reflection or how to pull out those things that happened, I'm going to give you some ideas here. So sometimes it can be challenging to start a reflection. So here are some questions that you can ask yourself that can inspire you and help you to focus on your thoughts. So you can select one or more of these to help get your ideas in your head started. First question. What did you think about how Miguel stopped talking with Esperanza after she told him about the river between them? Next question. Many people commented that they didn't like Tio Luis. Why do you think they felt this way? Next question. Isabel was excited about learning what she didn't know, but Esperanza didn't seem excited. Why do you think that is? Last question. Why do you think Isabel was happy with living in the cabins with kitchens, but Esperanza wasn't? Remember, these are just some suggested questions just to get your mind thinking a little bit about what we've read to help you with your reflection. However, if you already have some strong ideas and feelings or wonders about our reading so far, you don't have to use any of these questions. You can go straight in with whatever you're thinking. So here's our follow-up activity. It is something you can do at home. You don't have to, but it would be a way to practice writing those reflections and thinking a little bit deeper about your reading. So your follow-up activity is to write a reflection about Esperanza Rising. You can even start to keep a reflection on paper, reflection journal on paper or in your Google Drive. So when you are done writing later on, you can either share it with me in Google Drive. You can email it to me if maybe you're writing it straight into your email or some other program on your computer. Or the last option is if you wrote it by hand on paper, you can ask your family to take a picture of it on their phone and send it to my phone or my email. So they should have both. And you should probably have both too. So, all right, enjoy. And I cannot wait to see what some of your reflections are before Monday. So then maybe we can talk about those too. All right, thanks, kiddos.